Check.
Not whatever. I see it.
Yeah, no, we should do it. I think it's all kind of thing. Yeah, let's use let's get the yeah, you got it. You know enough to play it, right? Not really. You got it.
That's good. Blue and green means good. Yellow and green means muted.
After a delay, we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Florida College Rugby. It's you never finish versus you can't finish in a game that one team has to finish. UCF electing to kick off, and they receive it. UCF looking to make a mark immediately as we go into the starting lineups for North Florida. I do not have UCF's on me, but we will try to do our best to announce this game as fairly as possible. Starting lineup for North Florida: number 1, Evan Brown; number 2, Christopher Friend; number 3, Gabe Gonzalez; number 4, Fort Setzer; number 5, Arthur Barbosa; number 6, Logan Holman; number 7, Connor Brown; number 8, Connor Kurak; and as we have a turnover, number 9, Dylan Nuremberg; number 10, Eli Reynolds; number 11, Lee Setzer; number 12, J.C. Muth; number 13, Talon Leonard; number 14, Jason Martin; number 15, Desmond Ford Green. North Florida steals the ball away from UCF right before the Knights could score. And it looks like North Florida may elect to kick it out of their own zone, and they do. This one high, deep, and it will go out of bounds. And we will see the first line out of the game for either team. UCF looking to set a tone early, just an unfortunate turn of events results up, but it stays in bounds, caught by Ford Green, who passes it to Martin. Martin running down the sideline. Martin looking for a pass, gets it to Lee Setzer, who passes it to what looks like Connor Brown. To Evan Brown. Or that was Kurak that had the ball, not Brown. North Florida with some passing ends up in the hands of Muth. To Logan, the forbidden name Holman. The ball comes loose, or it was pitched back. And Connor Brown this time comes up with it. Central Florida applying immediate pressure. The tackle on Nuremberg was immediate. However, North Florida does manage to get the ball off, and it ends up in the hands of Gabriel Gonzalez, who looks very similar to Arthur. An attempted grubber by North Florida has failed, and UCF takes the ball inside their own 50. We will hear a whistle, and it's a penalty against Central Florida. The Sir addressing one of the players, number 5 on Central Florida. The scrummy Nuremberg looking for the sideline. The kick is up, and it just stays in, and it's caught by the Knights. The Knights looking for a counter kick. They get it. Ford Green looking to catch it. He does. Passing it now to the Shadow. Central Florida, the tackle just inside the 10. North Florida sending it to their backs to Skip. Looking for Lee Setzer, who may have had an overload. Some players to look out for on North Florida. Looking at Desmond Ford Green, Durag Des, who had a try last week against Florida State. Also looking at number 24, not 14, excuse me, Mr. Jason Martin, who leads the team with 3 tries. All of them scored against FIU. North Florida slowly marching up the field now. Big push by number 1, Brown. Evan Brown with a big hit, but unfortunately gets tackled soon after. And we will hear a whistle. It was bobbled, and a possible opportunity for North Florida results in a knock-on in our first scrum of the day. North Florida has been improving on their scrums and especially their lineouts week by week. But UCF can be known for being a little tricky at those scrums and lineouts too. We obviously saw they won that first lineout. So let's see how this first scrum turns out. Crouch bind set by the serve. Very quick put in by UCF, and they win the first scrum and the first line out of the game. Central Florida, double tackle by North Florida, but the Central Florida Knight manages to stay on his feet. Here comes a whistle and a penalty against North Florida and a quick tap by the Knights. Looking to exploit the left side. The 9 tackled, however. Pick and carry by the Knights. Ball comes out though. However, UCF will fall on it. We will hear a whistle. Penalty again against North Florida. And it looks like UCF is trying to decide whether or not to take the points or not. North Florida looks like they are backed up to their own try line. Looks like the Knights will elect to do a quick tap. Just organizing real quickly. We will hear a whistle. Not rolling away was the penalty called against North Florida. And it looks like they will kick it out of bounds for the line out. First and only line out of the game so far was won by the Knights. Crucial line out if you're North Florida to keep the Knights from getting on the board. Here comes the throw. And they win it, and they will maul. Only gains a few yards on that. UCF looking to do a couple quick plays to get into the try line. Advantage called against North Florida. It's a melee at the line, and we got a long whistle. Penalty advantage again for the Knights. Not rolling away the call again. The Knights looking to find a hole. UCF, the pass. Looking for the dump off, not going to get it. Backpedaling is UCF. North Florida still with a decent goal line stand. An attempted jackal by North Florida. Unsuccessful. UCF pushing, shoving. Not on the ground yet. And a great goal line stand by the Deadbirds, and they will get the penalty and escape alive with this one. 0-0 remains the score. The scrummy Nuremberg looking for the kick out of bounds, and he will get it. What a great goal line stand by North Florida, just getting to every single man that had the ball, keeping them out, and then forcing a penalty. And now they managed to get a little bit out of the way, and it's their first awarded set piece of the game, line out scrum, whatever. And now they're looking to take advantage of it, or at minimum, even if UCF takes it, it's a better position than being up against your goal line. Here we go. It's batted, and it will be recovered by UCF, but it looked like he went out of bounds. The ball was batted from the line out, and it looked like UCF picked it up, but then the ball possibly went out of bounds. The sir addressing the touch judge, and it looks like UCF had possession when the ball went out, or they were the last one to touch it. And now it will be a scrum for North Florida. Crouchbine said UCF with a big push, and they're going to steal this one. And the Knights push in. Can they get the first points of the game? Not immediately. Still no. UCF with a bunch of quick pick and goes, looking for the outside. Muth. Martin with the tackle. A try-saving tackle for Jason Martin. And a knock-on by UCF, and but it was a delayed penalty against North Florida. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have UCF's roster. Number 1, Cody Borey. Number 2, Charlie Budd. Number 3, Alex Castilla. Number 4, Jack Kohler. Number 5, Kyle Callahan. Number 6, Raul Appa. Number 7, Jared Brodrech. Number 8, Noah Morris. Number 9, Jackson Patterson. Number 10, Caleb Goertson. Number 12, Anthony Drebeck. Number 13, Jack Puszalski. Number 11, Jackson Elridge. And number 15, Edward Prevost. Unfortunately, number 14 does not have a name. I'm being notified that number 14 is Jackson Shore. And it looks like UCF will get the first points of the game, or looking for the first points of the game, off of a penalty kick. UCF has had 2 attempts to get a try, hasn't gotten it. Now they're in prime position just right about at midfield. You might as well take the points here. Kick is up, and it's wide. Oh my goodness. And this remains a 0-0 game. The kick by number 10, Caleb Goertson, just goes wide. And North Florida with an answered prayer, getting a lot of prayers so far answered. North Florida with a 22-meter drop, picked up by the Knights. Knights sending it down the line, taken by number 4, Jack Kohler. Kohler moving, rolling, rumbling, before being tackled just outside the 22. UCF looking for the back line, possible overload developing. Ball gets knocked on, however, and it will be another scrum. A lot of the game so far has been spent, if not all the game has pretty much been spent in the UNF half, but the Deadbirds doing a great job on defense. UCF has won all the scrums so far, stealing one from North Florida. The scrummy today for the Knights, number 2, Charlie Budd. The scrummer for North Florida, number 2, Christopher, your friend and mine. Big push by the Knights, but the Deadbirds are going to win it and send it to their 10. Eli Reynolds. Caught, however, by number 15, taken by number 11 on UCF. Jackson Elridge, rumbling, tumbling, just outside again. Can North Florida get another goal line stand? Ball taken by number 13, Jack Puchalski. To the 10, the 5. Callahan with the ball, getting stuffed again. And we will hear a whistle. Multiple whistles. And it looks like the Sir will address North Florida. It'll be a penalty against the Deadbirds. Will UCF elect to take another penalty kick? Yes, they will. The first one was missed wide right and resulted in a 22-meter drop. Now the Knights 10, Caleb Gordson, will try again. Or excuse me, number 15's approaching the ball. And it looks like number 15, Edward Prevost, might attempt the kick here. Or maybe they won't. The T guy is on the sideline in a knee. The Sir's addressing something with both captains, however. Could just be one of those things where the Sir wants to get something out of the way, make sure that something doesn't happen for the rest of the game. So now both teams are going to come together and talk about it, and then we'll see what UCF elects to do. This does give them time to decide whether they want to go for the points or try for a try. From the far hash. Gordson, the kick is up and wide. 5-0 UCF here in this first half. Knights get on the board first. North Florida's kick does not go 10, and we will see a scrum.
Nico, this side. 5 yards back.
UCF has won every scrum awarded to them so far during this game.
So what you do is basically from the back over there. 5-0. Yep.
Big push by both teams, but UCF will win it. Big kick by the Knights, looking to exploit North Florida, but it's caught by Ford Green on the Deadbirds. Ford Green, high pass to Lee Setzer, looking for Martin. Martin with the heels, 3-on-1 developing. Martin crosses the path and is tackled. The Deadbirds need a response to that UCF try. They've been doing good on defense, but just haven't gotten things going on the offense. Right in front of me for UCF is number 6, Raul Appa. North Florida, Christopher Friend with the ball. Friend, a secondary education student.
Squeeze in, Alex, squeeze in!
Taken by Barbosa, who looks suspiciously a lot like number 3, Gabriel Gonzalez. The ball taken by number 6, Logan Holman. North Florida sending it down their back line now. Inside pass to Martin. Martin dancing his way, looking for the pitch, not going to get it. North Florida to their backs again. Couple skips, looking to exploit a hole, not going to get it. couple of UCF players yelling at one of their teammates to not try and jackal the ball. He was coming in from a really weird angle. Holman. North Florida passing it inside and will get tackled for a loss. Ball bounces out, taken by Muth. And almost stolen by the Knights. Big push by UCF. Who was that? Looked like number 7, Jared Brodrech. And it will be a penalty against UCF. Nuremberg with the ball again, looking for touch. Kick is up, and UCF tried to block it, but just couldn't. And the ball goes out of bounds.
Let's go.
The player that tried to block the ball from going out of bounds was number 14 on UCF. Few things for the Deadbirds that they need to focus on. They got to get the ball out to the wings, and they've been trying to do that with a couple skips, but it just hasn't gotten there yet. The Knights seem to be on them pretty well. To be more aggressive on the breakdowns and really hang on to that ball. Here comes the line out for the Deadbirds, looking for the second pod. It drops, and it ends up in the hands of UCF, and it'll be a delayed penalty for not being straight. UCF looking to exploit another hole, taken by number 12. Number 12, Anthony Drabeck. Drabeck tackled by Martin, who holds him up. We may have a second maul. Comes out of the maul. Who has the ball? UCF does. And the ball gets knocked. A very low pass to number 15, Prevost. And unfortunately, UCF trying to capitalize on the not straight line out will get a knock on. And I think that at that time, advantage was over. So North Florida will get the scrum. Deadbirds backed up into their own zone. If UCF wins this, they'll be in prime position. Big push by the Knights, turned, however, by North Florida, and we will hear a whistle and a penalty called against UCF. North Florida will probably look for the line out here. Nuremberg looking for touch again, giving the signal to the Sir. Kick is up, and it is out of bounds. Caught by one of the subs. The ball now just outside the North Florida 22. And it looks like a sub. Looks like an injured Deadbird, slow to get up. And he's down. And we will have a stoppage of play here. As number 7, Connor Brown, appears to be hurt. Sir looks to be coming over to check on the player, the trainer on the field. 5-0 the score, UCF over North Florida. The player being able to come off the field with his own power. In for him looks to be number 16, Caleb Griffith. Time is on. And we will see the line out for North Florida. Looking for the second pod. This time, not straight again. At least it was caught by number 2, Christopher Front this time. And it will be a line out for UCF. Or no, they are electing to scrum. The Knights have been doing pretty good on the scrum so far this game. It's not surprising that they would elect to do so here. The put in by Patterson. And quick drive by the Knights, and they're going to win this one easily. Skip by the Knights. Possible hole being exploited. Kick by number 15, Prevost. Who comes up with it? And it looks like Holman's going to fall on it, and we will hear a whistle. Sir pointing in, and it looked like a knock-on. I did see a player may have touched the ball, but I didn't know if a player dropped it. But the sir is going to say that the player was a dead bird, and he, in fact, had some sort of possession. Another prime scrum for UCF in great territory. Big push by the Knights. They get it out. Going back door, knocked on again by Prevost. And we will hear a whistle. Sir let it play on just in case North Florida got the ball. And we will see a deadbird scrum. North Florida with some great defense inside their 22. Only allowing 5 points so far in this game.
Lewis, you got no time on the ball because that's why you're dropping it. Deeper, come with me. Like 5 yards deeper. You're jumping it. You don't need to jump. Let the winger help you and then give that pass.
You're putting yourself under pressure by going flat.
Nuremberg with the put in. Big push comes out the other side, and it will be advantage for UCF. And it looks like North Florida fell on it. And the sir is going to call the advantage. The ball taken by Patterson, looking to go quick. Patterson going down the left side. Patterson looking for a hole. Patterson shakes one off. Just outside the try line. Quick take by the Knights. Knights with 3 quick takes in a row. North Florida trying with the jackal, taken by number 10, Gordson. And still outside the try line. The sir, however, looking in, and we will hear a couple whistles. Possibly not rolling away against North Florida. And it's a try. Number 10, Caleb Gordson, was just over the try line. And it is 10-0 for UCF. So the sir in this case was just looking to see if the ball may have gotten held up. But it appears it was not, and Gordson manages to get in. Prior to that, the Knights with 3 straight pick and goes, looking to crunch the defense in and then send it out, not wide, but just far enough to look and exploit a hole, and they end up getting their second try of the day. Gordson, after scoring the try, now looking for the kick.
I can't get in.
North Florida trying to block it. Kick is up, and it is good. 12-0 the score for UCF. Looking to set a tone and a precedent. Reynolds with the ball, looking to kick it as quick as he can. Last one didn't go 10. This one does. Can North Florida steal it? No, number 4, Jack Kohler, comes down with it for UCF, and they will get a penalty. Will UCF elect to kick for touch? And it looks like number 16, Caleb Griffin, was looking for a blood sub. Kick is up, stays in bounds. The bounce is favorable for UCF. Who's going to fall on it? And Durag Des Fort Green gets the ball. Ball bounces forward though, picked up by UCF. Delayed penalty could be played here. Kick by number 13, Puchalski. And it goes out of bounds according to the touch judge. Who had the ball last? The touch judge is going to say that UCF did not have the ball. And it looked like North Florida may have touched it last. So UCF will get a line out in great position. $12-0 the score here in the first half. The accurate time on the field with the serve. UCF looking for a good line out here. Virtually uncontested, and they're going to maul it again, but it looks like it was not straight. Or it actually looks like UCF may have gone in the channel. You have to keep that channel open. You cannot have a man inside of it. And UCF, they like to do this backup thing to try and catch the other team off guard and maybe get right in between where the players are. And maybe they went just a little bit too far to their left. And that's what the sir called. North Florida with the ball. Quick touch by Nuremberg. Nuremberg gaining some room there and stays on his feet and finally gets tackled. Collapsing ruck. But North Florida will get it out to Brown, Evan Brown. Ooh, big hit by the number 1 Borey on UCF. Martin looking for some room. Martin looking for some space. Getting it into UCF territory for the first time today. Big play for number 24, Jason Martin. Barbosa not getting much room. Big push by UCF, but covered once again by North Florida. We will hear a whistle and a penalty against North Florida. Griffin, who came off with a blood stud, coming back on the field for him during that time was number 19, Zane Canada. Ball goes out of bounds. UCF will have the line out. So far, a better looking game for both teams. Is just a matter of 12 little points for UCF that hold the advantage. UCF's last line out was called for being in the channel. And they go short. North Florida looking to pitch it out of bounds. And it looked like the ball wasn't even in control. The last night that had it was number 6, Raul Apa. And we will see who has the ball. North Florida's 9, Nuremberg has it in his hand. So I guess it will be a dead bird line out. Ball wasn't in possession. UCF tried to get a little tricky with that, with a direct pass to number 3, Alex Castilla. But unfortunately, it just was not retained and the ball went out of bounds. North Florida, Fort Setzer, and this one goes straight. North Florida looking for a hole. Not going to find one, though. And we will hear a whistle called against the Knights. Nuremberg's in the middle of the field, but he will elect to go for touch. The kick, it's a shorty, and it stays in bounds. Caught by UCF, who kicks it back. Ford Green catches it for the Deadbirds and then gets tackled and looking to get secured by Lee Setzer, but unable to do so. And now the ball is loose again. Evan Brown ended up coming down with it. Brown says that he wants to be at a Creed concert in 5 years. Quick hold, a big hold by Reynolds before passing it. Deadbirds still maintain possession. Big hold by the Deadbirds, and we will hear a penalty against UCF. When you have a lot of plays in a row and you're not going anywhere, one of two things is probably going to happen. It'll be a penalty against you or a penalty against the other team. And in the past 2 cases, it's been penalties against the opposite team. And now the Sir addressing something with UCF's number 12, Anthony Drebeck. The Sir being very vocal today, addressing any concerns he has with both teams. Nuremberg closer to the sideline than he was for the first kick. And it looks like he will kick for touch again. Kick is up and it stays, and it goes out of bounds, excuse me. North Florida gaining most of their yardage off those kicks. The Deadbirds did look to gain a little offensive momentum off that run by Martin, but unfortunately just weren't able to get it. Ford Setzer uncontested. What a line out. Speaking of Martin, he got the ball. Muth. It drops and is picked up by the Knights. Number 13, Puchalski. And is picked up again, and we will hear a whistle. A little frustration by UCF. It must have been against the Knights, and it's a scrum down for North Florida. Patterson was the last man with the ball for the Knights. All but maybe 2 plays of this game have pretty much been inside Deadbird territory. Big push by North Florida. Will Nuremberg scoop it up? He does. Reynolds looking for a short kick and almost caught by Martin. And it will be a penalty, a knock-on against North Florida. It looked like Martin may have accidentally swatted it forward. And we will see another scrum. The front row for North Florida consists of Evan Brown, Christopher Friend, and Gabriel Gonzalez. While the front 3 for UCF has Cody Borey, Charlie Budd, and Alex Castilla.
Ball. Ball. Line, coach. We don't need it.
The Sir making sure the scrum is as safe as possible before this goes off. The Sir blowing his whistle again. Something is bothering him about this scrum, excuse me. Going over to the opposite side, addressing something with what looks like a North Florida player. It's the most recognizable part of the game, but it's the most dangerous part of the game. I say it almost every week. So it's a good thing for these Sirs to make sure that this goes off as safely and as accurately as possible for both teams. Crouch bind set, quick throw in by the Knights, and they win this one again. High throw. Oh, and just a weird pass, and the Surge's going to say it was forward. North Florida with the ball. Logan Holman. Attempted jackal by number 14 on the Knights. The ball goes backwards as it ends up in Evan Brown's hands, and Lee Setzer will get it off of Brown. Here comes Reynolds with the kick. Bounces in no man's land, and Martin, almost comes up with the ball, but instead it gets knocked on, and Patterson's going to fall, is going to grab it. However, he's pushed back into Knight territory. Knights looking for a kick again. Who will come up with it? Reynolds looking for the catch. He gets it. Reynolds, will he kick it back? No, he won't. Passes it to Lee Setzer. Setzer looking for a pass. Not going to get it. Stays on his feet. And we will hear a whistle. And it'll be a penalty against North Florida. The Knights have some legs on their team, so I'm not opposed to them kicking or getting the quick tap. Prevost coming up to the Sur's mark, and it looks like he will maybe elect to do the quick tap. No, he won't. He is electing for touch. Looking for the opposite side of the field, but ends up getting it anyway. Few of the players yelling last play, 12-0 the score. Halftime could be upon us. The accurate clock on the field with the Sur. Line out for the Knights. Looking to set a tone going into halftime. The line out uncontested by UCF. Quick pass by the Knights. Falls too far forward though for UCF. Picked up by number 13 on the Knights. Puchalski dancing around and finally brought down by the Deadbirds. Big ruck by the Knights, sending in multiple people to keep the Deadbirds from trying to jackal. Big hold by the 8-man Morris. The pass just a little bit high. I'm noticing that with the Knights. Their passes are just a little bit too high, and we will hear a whistle and a penalty called against UCF. And now the question is, if that was supposed to be the last play of the game, looks like it might be the last few plays as Nuremberg is electing for the line out. And that was the last play of the game, last play of the half, excuse me. We have one more half left to play, not a full game, but half a game left to play, and you shouldn't go anywhere. It's a 12-0 game for UCF. Neither team secures it yet. 40 minutes of rugby are gone. 40 minutes remain. 12-0 the score in favor of the UCF Knights over the North Florida Deadbirds. Speaking of scores, let's take a look at some scores from around the league here in the FCC, and we have 2 shutouts so far. USF beats Eckerd in St. Pete 17-0 in that crosstown battle. But how about this? In the battle between a team from Miami and a team from I forgot where FAU's from. That's unfortunate. From Boca. STU absolutely hammers FAU 82-0. Not even close. And then UF and FSU still going on. 7-0 the score in favor of the Gators. The kick does not go 10, and we will see a Central Florida scrum. It's something about St. Thomas in the air. The Knights were the closest team to beat them so far by 1 possession. And now, St. Thomas holds an interesting distinction of being 2 teams by more than 80 points. One being North Florida, and the other today being FAU. 82-0. Patterson with the put in, and the ball bounces out the same side that it was put in. First time I've seen that all season. The Sir is going to do this scrum once again. The ball popped out of the same side that it was put into. And now we will see UCF scrumming again. Puszczalski gets one on the board again. And it is 17-0 UCF. Puszczalski just made what looked like number 11, Lee Setzer, sit down on that. And then just exploited the hole. UCF possibly setting a tone in this second half, getting a score very early on. And it all started with that kick not going 10. Caleb Gortson looking for the kick to make it 19-0. Kick is up, and it is good. Delayed signal by both touch judges, but it will be 19-0 for the Knights. Kicking it off for North Florida is number 10, Eli Reynolds. His biggest strength, according to him, is being 6 feet tall, which I have a hard time believing. Here comes a kick, and not 10 again. That's twice in a row that North Florida has had a kickoff not go the required 10 meters, and it'll be another scrum for UCF. Two scrums, technically 3 so far, including this one, and including the one that bounced out the same side it was put into. Big push by North Florida, and it will collapse, a big collapsing scrum, and UCF will pick it up. North Florida won that one on strength, but did not win the ball. UCF passing it to the opposite side. UCF looking for some speed. The tackle. And it'll be a penalty against North Florida. UCF kicking for touch. Looks like Prevost. Or actually, it looks like the Sirs addressing something on North Florida, bringing in the captain, number 8, Connor Kurak in. Lee Setzer coming up to him as well, addressing something, and the Sirs writing it down. We could see the first card of the game here against North Florida. And it will be a yellow card against number 11, Lee Setzer. And the Deadbirds are going to have to play down a man for the next 10 minutes. Not a good thing for North Florida, who's already down 19-0. Looking to change the momentum of this game. And personally, if they can hold UCF, prevent them from scoring, I don't know what's a bigger momentum shift for them. Start the clock for 10 minutes for Lee Setzer. And a big high skying kick. And it goes right through the hands of Nuremberg on North Florida and then falls out of bounds. Last touch of Deadbirds, so it will be a line out for the Knights. Charlie Budd. I love it. You know, both scrummies in this game. One's named Friend and the other's named Bud. It doesn't matter. You will like them both. Here comes a whistle and a free kick for UCF. Oh no, it's a free kick for North Florida. Excuse me. Not straight called against UCF. Quick tap taken by Evan Brown. Brown tried to get a little too crazy on that one. And the ball bouncing around, picked up by UCF. Pass to number 12.
Stay in bounds!
Staying in bounds is Drebeck, number 12 on UCF. Brown tried to get a little too tricky to put down the ball, pick it back up, and then keep going. And he's called for a penalty. Oh, big keeper by the 9, and there's a try for Jackson Patterson. If there was an A there for North Florida, he left just a little too early, and Patterson read it and got himself 5 points. 24-0 the score for the Knights. Great read there by Patterson, and now we will see Gortson with another attempt at a conversion kick. North Florida huddling in their own try zone, trying to possibly address all the problems they've been having. Here comes the kick, it's up, and it is good. And we will see a 26-0 ball game for the Knights. You hear the Knights players, though, they're yelling 0-0-0-0. They want to keep their heads in their game. They don't want to make mistakes. And most importantly, they want to keep possession of this ball. 2 kickoffs so far in this half, both having gone 10 meters for the Deadbirds. Will third time be a charm?
Oh, here. Over under if it's going on this thing hard to find that. Yeah, exactly. I got 1,000 on the under.
Here comes the kick, and this one goes more than 10 and then some. But UCF will still fall on it. Ball's loose. However, the Knights pick it up. 2 players tackle for the Deadbirds, almost placed on the wrong side for UCF. And the ball comes loose, picked up by Griffith. And it will be advantage for North Florida inside UCF territory. Ball picked up off the direct pickup, placed on the wrong side at first. Both teams forgetting a little bit which side they're on, and UCF pushing North Florida back. The Deadbirds still a man down. Some quick passes for North Florida. Staying in bounds. North Florida gaining some momentum here. Evan Brown trying to lower his shoulder, but UCF just coming up immediately. Doesn't get much. Reynolds passing it to 24, who passes it to Ford Green. Big push by UCF. Not going to get it though. Fort Setzer with the carry. Logan Holman trying to push one away, but is forced down. Reynolds alone. North Florida starting to stall out from that big gain that they had on the opposite side of the field. Oh, and it is knocked on by a sub. Number 17, Liam Buchanan. However, it was advantage for North Florida, and they get a lucky break. And it looks like the Deadbirds, kick by Reynolds, will elect to line it a high sky towering kick, and it goes out of bounds. That was number 17, Liam Buchanan, with the knock on. He is a sub in. And it looks like we have a few subs coming in for UCF. Number 17, number 18, and number 21. So that is Luke Rogers, Neiman Stevens, and Jackson Graham coming into this game for the Knights. For a trio of forwards that are absolutely covered. That's how you know they played well. One of those forwards being the scrummy Charlie Budd. Line out one by North Florida, but it's knocked on by Reynolds. And it will be a scrum down for UCF with a brand new forward line. As I'm noticing, it was Bori, Budd, and Castilla who came out of this game. Oh, wait. No, it looks like Bori is still in. Very low scrum. A UCF player on the near side ended up having his knee down, but it won't matter. It goes out the other side, and Logan Holman comes up with it. Caleb Griffin now with the ball. Attempted jackal, and it will be a penalty against UCF. If you're North Florida, you're looking to get as close as possible to at least get a penalty kick on the board. And it looks like the Deadbirds will elect for the touch again. For a second, they were trying to debate whether or not to take the ball into contact, but they decide not to. Stays in bounds, and now it's kicked by the Knights, caught by Ford Green, Duragdez, passing it to Reynolds. Reynolds, light kick, and it's kicked by UCF. UCF playing a little soccer, may have kicked it a little too hard, and it goes out the back. UCF, the last one to kick it. And now we're going to see what the Sir calls here. Turned into a soccer match for a second there, as we had 3 kicks in a row, 1 by North Florida, 2 by UCF. And it looks like the Deadbirds will kick it from the try line. Kick is up, and it is caught, bobbled, but backwards by number 13, Puchalski. Big pass by UCF. Passes it again and then met immediately by Griffin. Multiple drops by the Knights go backwards. They maintain possession. Knights forming a ruck. Prevost stays on his feet. However, the ball is stolen. Number 9, Nurnberg with the ball for North Florida, looking for the dump off to Reynolds. Eli, trying to Pass it there. Who comes up with it? It'll be UCF. And we have a penalty. I know that Reynolds was running alone, but you do not want to throw it back like that, especially when no one's there. Might as well go out of bounds and try and steal the line out. However, it looks like there was a knock-on called against North. Oh, so the Surge is going to play a knock-on called against North Florida, and it will be a scrum down. Or excuse me, it was okay, so the Surge was playing penalty advantage against UCF. It was a knock-on against the Knights, so the whole thing we just saw was penalty advantage for North Florida, and it will be a scrum for the Deadbirds.
I think it was just like some constant waiting. You know, one bro already set up and then we
Crouch bind set, UCF with a big push, and UCF's going to steal this one. UCF on the weak side, the 8-man. Noah Morris, and he scores! Noah Morris with the 8-man pickup. And it is 31-0 for the Knights. Just a good push by the Knights. And then catching everyone off guard with the 8-man pickup. Just running, getting a little good steps, and next thing you know, there's another try. The try by Morris, putting the Knights in the 30s range. Kick is up, and it is good. And it will be 33-0. The kick by Gortson puts the Knights up 33-0. North Florida starting to feel the weight of the score on them, getting slower and slower to the line. This is the part of rugby that coaches drill into players' heads the last 20 or so minutes of the game when mistakes will be made. The kick caught by the Knights inside their own territory. Big ruck for UCF, has to get fished out by the foot, and we will hear a whistle and a free kick for North Florida. Quick tap by Nuremberg, looking for a pod, gets it to Evan Brown, who pushes sideways and before he's tackled. Nuremberg looking for the back line now. Switch to Martin, who runs into traffic. And it looks like penalty advantage for North Florida. Evan Brown. The pass down the line to Martin. And the ball goes forward, and we will hear a whistle, and that penalty advantage for North Florida. The question is, what do the Deadbirds do in this situation? Are they close enough for a kick? Looks like no, and they are giving the ball to the 8-man, the captain, Connor Kurak, to kick it out of bounds. No, they will instead give it to Eli Reynolds. Was confused a little bit for a second, but it looks like Reynolds. No, okay, so they are going to go for the kick. North Florida looking to get their first points of the game on the board off of a conversion kick by Kurak. Or excuse me, by Reynolds. Reynolds definitely has a leg, but has struggled lately due to an injury to his kicking leg. It's not so much accuracy that he's going to worry about here. He's definitely in the middle. It's pretty much power, and unfortunately he doesn't get either. And it will bounce out the back. And it'll be a dropout by UCF. Even though the kick wasn't made, North Florida hoping to get this ball back off of the dropout. And they'll still be in prime position if they get it. 33-0 the score for UCF. The correct clock on the field with the sir. Here comes the drop kick. Big, high, towering into North Florida territory, caught by Ford Green. Ford Green, the pass to Lee Setzer, who's back on the field. And a big, big carry there for North Florida as they get into UCF territory. Reynolds hangs on to it. Almost stolen by the Knights. A warning by the sir regarding offside. Ball goes a little too far backward, but Christopher Friend falls on it. And it's secured. Arthur Barbosa. Griffin and Gonzalez with the securement. North Florida looking for their back line to make some moves, and we will hear a whistle. And it'll be a penalty against UCF. Nurnberg will most likely look for touch, and he does. Kick is up and out of bounds inside UCF territory. Line out for North Florida just inside the UCF 10-meter line. It's up, goes to the second pod, and won by the Deadbirds. Uncontested there pretty much. Barbosa with the carry. Stays on his feet and then brought down by the Knights. Oh, but the Knights managed to steal the ball away and kick it. The Knights with the foot race, and it goes out of bounds. Eldridge, the closest Knight there for UCF, looked to make it another soccer game as well, but just a little outside, and the ball rolls out of bounds, and it'll be a line out for the Deadbirds. The weather today was supposed to be a little more mucky than this. Very lucky that it did not rain, and it will not be straight. Called against North Florida, and the Knights will get the ball. And it'll be a scrum for UCF.
I think we just had a late start. Yeah, exactly. At the low pass where they got to go like that.
The Knights have done well on scrums today. Look to continue that with this one. We hear a whistle though, and the sir will address it. Crouch bind set called, and big push by North Florida, but UCF's going to pick it up. Knights looking for a pooch kick, caught however by Liam Buchanan. The Knights send several men in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the ruck, and they almost do it. That's a lot of men to throw in for a jackal. Ended up in, and it looks like Caleb Griffin. Ball's loose, stolen by the Knights. It was ripped out of the hands of Caleb Griffin. Looked like number 10, Caleb Gortson. Managed to steal that one away. The Deadbirds looking to get it out of bounds, not going to do it. And the ball ends up in the hands of number 18, Neiman Stevens. Knights looking to add on to a 33-0 lead. The kick for the Knights. No one back for the Deadbirds. Who's going to get it first? And it's going out of bounds again. Drebeck for the Knights was the closest one there. And it looked like he elected to kick it again rather than try and get the ball. And he ends up getting it to go out of bounds, and it'll be another dropout for North Florida. Here comes the kick, and it is caught by number 21, Graham, for the Knights. Tackle on the near side by North Florida. Looked like Leonard had the tackle, and we will have it looked like it could have been knocked on. However, it will be not rolling away, called against North Florida. Must have been penalty advantage. Very close kick by UCF, and they will look for a line out and a sub coming in for the Knights. Xander Clan looking to come into this game for the Knights. Here comes the line out. Great position for the Knights. And passing it again to the forward pack. Right in front to number 1, Cody Borey. The ball now in the hands of Drebeck. UCF. Leonard trying to bring the man down for the Deadbirds. Manages to do so and rolls away from the tackle. The Knights running a man over, but tackled immediately. And we will hear a whistle and a penalty called against the Knights.
Running too hard.
Quick conversation by the sir to the team captain on the Knights. Nurnberg with the ball. Will he look for touch? Yes, he will. Ball is out and out of bounds just inside the Deadbird 22. North Florida will get the line out here off of the penalty by UCF. Easiest way to tell if they're going for touch or not is whether or not they indicate to the sir that they're going to do so. And most of the time, we've seen North Florida do it simply by pointing to the in-touch line. North Florida with some trickery, and it gets them the win. Quick pass to Gonzalez before sending it to the back line. Reynolds to Martin to Leonard, who's tackled. Gator roll, and the Knights get it. The Knights almost ended up out of bounds, but stay inside. The Knights stay in bounds, a quick pass. And finally brought down. However, the Deadbirds get it. Reynolds looking for a kick. He gets it, and it goes out of bounds just outside the 22. And I end up with the ball. Not often I end up getting the ball, and I gave a very poor pass back into the field.
Let's go!
The Knights looking to win another line out here. North Florida, and it's swatted the opposite way. North Florida comes away with it. Caleb Griffin moving, inching closer into UCF territory. The short kick by Reynolds. Who's going to come up with it? Reynolds almost caught his own kick. or almost recovered his own kick. However, the Knights are going to run it back. Number 11, Eldridge, did some dancing to get the ball back into Deadbird territory. The kick by Gortson lands close to Durag Des. However, it's picked up by Lee Setzer. Setzer pushing. And now forms a ruck just around the 22 line. Logan Holman picked up by the Knights. The Knights managed to steal it from... Callahan with the run. Knights looking for their back line. Almost, and it's picked off by Ford Green. Durag Des almost had another one. You may remember he scored that way, and Martin tried to pass it, and it ends up bouncing. You may remember that Ford Green had that try against FSU off of a pick 5. It looked like he was about to do it again if he had just held his feet. Martin, however, who got the ball, tried to pass it. UCF read it, however, just couldn't come down with it, and we're going to see a knock-on against the Knights and a scrum down for the Deadbirds. 33-0 the score, the correct clock with the Sir. No one has it yet, and the Sir's going to blow it up. Not sure who went down first, whether it was the Knights or the Deadbirds. Just based on my point of view, the Sir, however, addressing North Florida. And we will have a re-scrum for the Deadbirds.
And then if they kick, you've got to drop back, okay? So your first job is to defend the run here, and then when the kick comes, then you drop.
We'll see. You're playing, yeah?
Big push, UCF! Stay up a little bit more, Xander. You got it. You're not kicking. You're not kicking.
And it will be a free kick for UCF. Quick tap. The hold by Patterson, who's tackled. Holman trying to jackal. The pickup by Brodrich. UCF looking to add on to that lead. Quick pickup. Picked up again. Doesn't get brought down though, so Patterson manages to pass it, and we will hear a whistle. And it looks like a forward pass called against the Knights. UNF ball.
Pause. You're not the ref.
And we will see a scrum down for North Florida. A lot of scrums in the past 5 minutes.
That's not
Looks like Barbosa came out of this game for North Florida. Could be a new man inside the scrum for North Florida. Or excuse me, that was not... Yes, that was Barbosa. Arthur Barbosa just came out of the game. So the question is, who went in for him? It's the same front three we've had with Evan Brown, Christopher Friend, and Gabriel Gonzalez. However, I do see a change in the second row. Big push by North Florida. The scrum turned, and they're going to win it. Eli Reynolds looking for the pass. Jason Martin passed it to Durag Des Ford Green. Logan Holman, the pod. Almost blown up, but Fort Setzer comes up with the ball, looked for the pass and doesn't get it, and is stolen by the Knights. However, it will be a penalty and a big break for North Florida. Nuremberg, the kick, goes out of bounds and almost caught by a fan.
But not quite.
Keyword, almost. And the pass back almost hit the touch judge.
Match 5. Hey, how many y'all got?
North Florida looking for a line out right around the 10 line.
Luke, get that match up on him. Meanwhile, nothing easy on channel.
And it looked like that sub for Barbosa was Canada, who came in earlier off of a blood sub. North Florida looking for some quick passes, but it goes backward. A little too far backward. Ends up in the hands of Lee Setzer. Lee Setzer with multiple spins, and we will hear a penalty whistle called against North Florida. The ball picked up by number 15 on the Knights, Prevost, and he's going to look for touch. High kick again, and this one goes into this one almost went into the trees. It'll be a line out for UCF inside their 22. UCF trying to organize the number of players they have in their lineout. Here comes the lineout, almost stolen by North Florida, but the Knights come up with it, and it's dropped by the scrummy. Patterson just couldn't retain it, and it'll be a scrum down for North Florida. Crouch bind set called by the Serb. Big push by UCF looking to steal it. Turns the scrum, and we will hear a whistle and a penalty called against North Florida. And it looks like UCF puts the ball down. They may decide to do some trickery here. They will not. They will look for touch. Kick is up and out of bounds. And this time goes into the trees. Big news in the history of rugby here in the Sunshine State. The Miami Sharks will have their first game tomorrow at home. The first ever Major League Rugby event in the state of Florida, in the biggest rugby market in the state. And let's be honest here, I'm not surprised that Miami gets the team. They have several pro teams. They got, or I should say several adult teams. They have several youth teams as well. Great numbers in South Florida in terms of youth rugby. The lineout is won by UCF in the end, and one college team in the form of FIU. So there's definitely a rugby following there, and I'm looking forward to see what to expect out of this brand new team. We will hear a whistle, looked like a knock-on, and a knock-on called against UCF, and we will see a scrum against North Florida. Lots of scrums in this game. Personally, I love to see it.
I get up and I'm like,
gotta get low.
We will hear a whistle. Looked like someone's back got a little too arched, and it will be a free kick for North Florida. Get ready for the quick tap. Nuremberg, he quick tapped it and then kicked it out of bounds, and caught by one of the sideline members, and that will be the final whistle as the sun sets. The Knights pick up a much important win, 33-0 the final score. Fans, we thank you once again for joining us here from Jacksonville, Florida for Florida College Rugby. Signing off here from Jacksonville. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.